what we're talking about, which is creating a yes zone for not just the 4th. I'm going to be saying the 4th, but for any event, potluck at church, family get-togethers, whatever you've got going on. This method works. I've done it all of my Weight Watcher years, and I still continue to do it, is to provide what we call here at the Holy Mess is your yes zone. You're familiar with our triangle here, and it makes your yes zone, which also makes me have safe eating, by the way. But creating a yes zone is all about establishing your boundaries and rehearsing, which sounds silly, but rehearsing yourself in that situation. Because once you imagine yourself and visualize yourself going through different scenarios that occur with get-togethers and potlucks, the more apt you are to be able to carry out your plan. And even write it down. There is nothing wrong with writing it down. I like to write things because I remember them better when I write them. So the title of tonight is Creating a Yes Zone with the Freedom to Choose. To enjoy a holiday, participate, and not have guilt or sabotage your plans. And I really liked what my printout said, is not having to start over the next day. I have ended many get-togethers or family events or potlucks by, well, looks like I'll start over tomorrow. But after every celebration we have, we don't have to start over. And that's what we're going to learn tonight, is how to create this yes zone, a safe place where you enjoy your food, you stay in control, and still meet your healthy goals, and hopefully lose weight, or at least have healthy boundaries. So what's a yes zone? I'm just going to real quickly go through that because we've talked about that before. It is making mental and physical boundaries in advance. Like I just said, picturing yourself in these various scenarios, seeing yourself making healthy choices, making a plan on what foods you know is going to be there, taking a food just for you, that kind of thing. That creates a yes zone. And you don't have to say no as many times if you've got this yes zone. And I can say no a few times, and finally, especially if there's a food pusher there, they wear us down. Oh, you've just got to take a bite. It doesn't have any sugar. Come to find out, it has a can of like Eagle brand milk or something, but it doesn't have sugar. We've all been told all of this stuff. Oh, it's just got a little butter. Well, how much? Well, 2 sticks. Well, okay, that's half a pound. All those things food pushers tell us. Layla's got to come say hi. It's not about depriving ourselves, and I love this. It's about choosing intentional freedom. It says freedom is not doing whatever you want. It's doing what's best for you on purpose. Think about purpose and food freedom together. So the first thing you need to do is to sit down, and we don't always have this luxury, especially if we're going to a restaurant that we're not familiar with. If we're the guest at someone's event, you may not know all the foods that's going to be there. If it's a church potluck, Lord knows we don't know what's going to show up at a church potluck. We've gotten tickled several times. We'd not have any meats. It'd be all side vegetables. Or we'd have all entrees and like six different corn dishes or something. That happens. So, we don't always have a choice. But if you think, like I just told you guys, our very loose plan. Now, I don't know everything that's going to show up at our get-together on the 4th, but I do know they're grilling. There will be burgers. There will be hot dogs. There's going to be chips. And I'm having fruit. I already have established that. And then there'll be other things. Other desserts drift in. Other, like pasta salads, and like you're saying, potato salad and macaroni salad, all those delicious things. will drift into the table too, but I don't know what those are going to be. So for me, what I am doing and what has worked so great over the years is I say, what do I want my plate to look like? Okay, I could go with a turkey burger, and I may. I always keep ground turkey. I may go with a hot dog, like a ballpark turkey dog. What I don't do is go for a hot dog and for a hamburger because of the double buns. And a bun is already a double your bread serving anyway. So between now and Friday, I have to decide, what do I want most? Do I want a hot dog or a hamburger? So that's a little mental work. And then make my way to have that. They have to cook mine separately. I'm special that way because of beef. So what does my plate look like? Well, right now, if the 4th was today, I would be having a 99% fat-free, big Whopper turkey burger patty, 0 points. I would select low-calorie buns. I probably wouldn't buy special, but I wouldn't get those buns that are like this big around for my burger. I'll get just the regular ones, or maybe even sandwich thins, because I don't mind those. And Lord knows I growed up with loaf bread being the universal bun. Loaf bread's a hot dog bun, it's a hamburger bun, it's loaf bread. So I'm not opposed to that either. But I'll probably get like some 110 to 130 calorie hamburger buns, smaller buns, for me and anybody else that wants a smaller bun. Okay, on that burger, I want tomato, onion, pickles, and mayonnaise. Okay, mayonnaise. I have tried light mayonnaise. I've tried every substitute, but there are certain things when I want mayonnaise, I'm going to use mayonnaise. And a 4th of July burger, that's an allotment I'm making. Now, I'm not going to get the squirt bottle and do like that. I've been practicing mayonnaise the last few days and measuring it with like a plastic spoon and how I weigh it. And I usually get by with actually half a serving. I put my little slice of loaf bread on the scale and a scant teaspoon, not a heaping plastic teaspoon, and smear it on my bread and then weigh it, and that tells you exactly how many grams of mayonnaise you have. So if we eat inside, I can do that. If I'm eating outside, I'm just going to have to guess. So I'm going to say I'm going with a teaspoon. Consistency is better than perfection. So I'm going to say it's going to be a teaspoon. But that's how I'm going to build my burger. So I'm going to have some heavy veggies with tomato, onion, pickles, because that's what I like on my burger, and mayonnaise. And I will probably grab some lettuce on the side. I don't really like it on my burger, but I do like to munch along with it. I'm doing a Sam's pickup tomorrow after my doctor's appointment, and I've got, we're getting a big box of the single serving Lays, which are usually around 150 calories, not horrible, but they also have the little Pringles stackables for 110 calories. So those are going to be my chips. So I've got a burger, I've got chips. I can see that on my plate. Now, what else is going to get on my plate? Okay, one of my daughter-in-laws, the one's taking me to the doctor tomorrow, makes exquisite deviled eggs. I'm going to have 1/2 of a deviled egg. I'm not going to have 6 halves, although I really could do that. I'm going to have 1/2 of a deviled egg. That's one of my compromise foods. Mayonnaise is a compromise. A deviled egg half. That's a compromise because I like those, and I would rather forego pasta salad and potato salad as deviled egg and mayonnaise on my burger. So kind of create a priority list. What is priority to make your food taste like you like it to taste? For me, on a burger, it's mayonnaise. So that's priority. So that kind of makes it make sense. Before an event, don't go hungry. Now, I have to admit, many Thanksgivings and Christmas, I've been busy cooking, and I look up and I think, well, my goodness, we're going to be eating in an hour, and I hadn't even had breakfast. I learned that led me to overeat. So have a normal, typical breakfast like you would normally have before the event. I've heard several talk about point hoarding and calorie hoarding, and I'm guilty of that too, of saying, well, if I just skip this, I can have all of these points or calories later. But you're kind of setting yourself up to have a big meal because you know you've saved for it. So go ahead and eat breakfast. Don't go hungry. Hungry is a dangerous place to be, because when I get hungry, I mean, I'm talking real hungry, I can eat a whole lot of food really quick. So something to do before is to eat. Something to do after. Our family is pretty good about taking walks after we have a meal, but it has been really hot, and as you guys know, my back has been out, and tomorrow's my nerve ablation, so I won't be able to take a walk. But I can withdraw myself from the food and do something enjoyable. I can color with the grandkids. I can participate in conversation. So mentally, after the food stops, and this helps us from the picking, what can you do to anchor yourself? Or when you get home, what can you do to bookend? You ate before you went. You had terrific control while you were at the event. When you get home, what can you do to continue that good behavior? For me, it's not bring home dessert. It's send the food away. Not bring home something. For me, staying adequately hydrated. It's hot everywhere, and staying adequately hydrated helps keep our hunger at bay too. Then for the food pushers, it gave us some suggestions on what to tell these food pushers. That looks amazing, but I'm full. Okay? And you know, all of my life I hadn't known that no is a complete sentence. I always felt like I had to justify it because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And, you know, if somebody says, oh, would you like this? Would you like that? I'm just like, no, thank you. I don't, I've eat. I start offering excuses. No, thank you. That's a complete sentence. And if you really want to be nice, you can say, that looks really good, but I am full. Or I liked this one. Oh, I already had my dessert. Okay, well, there's that. Or I'm good with what I've got here, thank you. Don't leave them something to come back at you with. We live in a world of food pushers. I myself have been guilty. Oh, just taste of it. I do that to my husband all the time. Just taste of it. When I opened these cookies to have a few with my lunch, I said, oh, these are really good. Here, taste one. And Randy said, I don't want one. I said, but you got to taste. And I stopped myself. This man does not want one of your cookies. Let it go. Besides, more for me later. But I have to make this do me, so can't eat them all up. So to wrap everything up in a nice little bundle here, we're not just surviving a holiday meal. We're building confidence, and we're practicing control. I really like that, practicing control. So go into it with a battle plan, because sometimes it's a battle. If there's, if somebody, which thankfully none of our family does, I'll say that, and that'll be the next thing that happens. Nobody makes homemade ice cream. Whew, that would be a battle. So start creating your yeses on tonight. If you know you've got a thing to do Friday or Saturday, right now, start thinking, what is my absolute favorite thing that will be there? What's my next favorite? What's my favorite dessert? We deserve to celebrate and have a celebration that honors our health and helps us reach our healthy goals, and to have these boundaries that we can wander freely in and eat freely in that boundary. but we have to establish them first. There's a little yes zone checklist that summarizes kind of everything we talked about. 1 plate, 1 indulgence, sit away from the food table, bring something that establishes your safe zone, a dish, stay hydrated, move after eating if you can, and speak kindness to yourself.